My message to Americans tonight is simple. We do not have to live this way. We do not have to settle for weakness, incompetence, decline, and decay.
We have an opportunity in this election to finally turn the page on a decade of politics driven by fear and division. We are done with that.
It's all come down to this. The final stops for Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump were key battleground states like Pennsylvania. It's one of the 7 swing states they're hoping to take today. We'll have more on their Election Day plans later on GMK. And while Kentucky isn't considered one of those swing states, there's still a lot at stake with major races and 2 constitutional amendments on the ballot.
So polls across Kentuckiana just opened a few minutes ago. Jim Stratman is getting the details that you need to know from election officials at Jeffersontown High School for us this morning. Jim, good morning.
Good morning, Grace and Eric. I want to go ahead and just immediately bring Ashley in here because we were just counting down, watching our watches intently 3 minutes ago. The polls open, and there you can see there was a line of people that just started making their way in here. Ashley, I know you love this day more than pretty much any day on the calendar year. How cool is that to see just that line of people coming in here ready to do their civic duty on Election Day?
I mean, it's a little bit like Christmas morning, right? You anticipate it, you plan for it, you've got everything lined up and ready to go, and then when you see those people start to come in, that's when the magic really happens.
Yes.
Everybody is here, they're casting their ballots and making their voices heard, and that's just a great feeling.
It's a great feeling, and I mean, hopefully a lot of these people are prepared as well, bringing those IDs, making sure they've read over the sample ballot beforehand. Those are a couple of key things to maybe help alleviate wait times, which we're seeing could be an issue because there's a lot of people that are engaged in this election, and we love to see that number of turnout, especially what we saw in the early voting periods.
Yeah, we saw a tremendous number of people. 113,000 people came and voted for those 3 days of early voting. We're going to be here at all of our 205 polling places from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. So if you're in line, you will be able to vote today on Election Day.
There you go. And that is the important takeaway here. 6 p.m. is the last time that they're going to be, is the closing time for the polls. But as long as you're in line at 6 p.m., you'll still be able to vote, just like all of these people are getting ready to cast their votes as well as we are ready to go here on Election Day. Eric, Grace?
Jim, thank you. We'll remind you half of Kentucky is in the central time zone, so we'll have another push of opening polls happening in less than an hour. Now, this year, half of Kentucky State Senate seats are up for grabs, along with all 100 House seats. Republicans do hold a supermajority in the General Assembly, and Democrats are looking to change that. In House District 48, Republican incumbent and former Louisville Metro Councilman Ken Fleming is facing challenger Kate Farrow. Farrow is a retired operations manager at the Louisville Water Company and a first-time candidate for political office. Republicans are hoping to flip House District 38's seat. Democratic Representative Rachel Rourke faces Republican candidate Carrie Sanders McKeon. And McKeon is a Jefferson County Public Schools special education teacher.
In Indiana, the big races include all 9 of the state's House of Representatives seats and the governor's seat. Republican Senator Mike Braun is facing former Republican superintendent turned Democrat Jennifer McCormick. Libertarian Donald Rainwater is also on the ballot. Since Braun stepped down, his U.S. Senate seat is open. Republican Jim Banks and Democrat Valerie McRae are both hoping to secure that.
And if you don't have a ride, that should not be a problem. TARC is offering free rides to and from polling stations in Jefferson County today, and that includes TARC 3 paratransit. We've got the link to TARC's schedule in this story at WHAS11.com.
Lyft is also offering 50% off rides up to $10. Just use the code VOTE24 from now until 10 tonight. Uber's running a similar deal through midnight. We've got all of that information. We know it's a lot, from the rides to the races to watch, in our voter guide on WHAS11.com. That's also where you can get the link to find your polling location.